It's Transformers96 here with another video review. This time we have the Marvel Select Ultron. So here you go. So before we go into the figure, let's go into the package. Of course you do have like the Ultron face on the corner here, really liking that. You have a marvelous picture of the Marvel's Ultron. Looks fantastic, really like it. If you save the artwork on the side, that's going to be a cool one. And of course you've got Green Goblin, Colossus on the back as the others to get, and a nice picture of Ultron with a bio on the side. So yeah. So here is Ultron. So I picked this up at my local toy shop, Toy Anxiety, and yeah, so very nice. So this looks like a really cool figure. I went back and forth on whether to get this guy. 1 minute I was all excited for it. 1 minute I was like, I think I'm gonna pass on it, and I finally decided to go ahead and get him, and I am actually pretty happy with that. So yeah, so if you're like me, a little on the fence, then hopefully this review will help you. So he does come with a base, and I have to say I am a huge fan of the base. This was, if he didn't come with this base, I don't think that I would have bought it, to be honest. I really don't, because this base is really fantastic. Of course you have, if I'm not mistaken, her name is the Wasp. I could be wrong on that though. And then of course Ant-Man here, just the dead or just fallen Ant-Man and Wasp on the back. Really love that. I think that's cool. That adds a lot of character to it and just really shows you how strong Ultron is and makes you want to buy the toy. And of course you do have a couple broken arrows from like Hawkeye's arrows, a couple broken bricks, and then you've just got debris all over. Really neat. And as for the pegs, you have one peg right here and then one peg right here. There is no peg over here. This is just how I put him on his base. That's the biggest problem with this, is it's really hard to find a good place to put him because the pegs are surrounded by debris. There's no like flat area where he can put his legs, and they're so close together that you'd have to put them like this and he'd look really bad that way. So I think that the base design was great. I just wish that maybe they just moved this arrow and the Wasp, moved them over a little bit, kept the peg here, and then took this peg and just put it like in this area where there's not much debris. That would have made a perfect place for him to put his foot, but they didn't, unfortunately. But you know what? It's okay. I'm pretty okay with it. And overall, the detail on the base is very nice. The back part of the bricks are hollow, but really, they look fantastic. I think this base was a wonderful design, and really, that was probably the decision factor of whether to get him or not for me. So yeah, so now as far as Ultron, the reason that I was on the fence about Ultron is because I'm not a huge Ultron fan, and you know, I had the Marvel Universe one, and it looked just like a bigger version of the Marvel Universe one. Of course, I knew there would be more articulation stuff, but just, was it worth $20 just to get in a little bit bigger size Ultron than I already had? And so I decided to get it, and I'm actually really happy with it. Articulation is good like I expected, but it is really good. I was really happy with that. He does have a ball hinge neck, allowing him to look up this much, and yeah, he can look down a decent amount, not too much, but a decent amount, which is nice. He's got ball hinge shoulders, of course, with the bicep swivel, hinge swivel elbows, swivel wrist, ball joint upper torso, but the ball joint upper torso, really, there is a lot of movement here, really can do a lot. And then a waist swivel on top of that, which is great. Ball hinge thighs, of course, with a thigh swivel, double hinge knees, and a hinge, and a swivel ankle plus a hinge, and then an ankle pivot. So pretty interesting how they did that. A lot of joints here. They have almost a couple unnecessary joints, but just that kind of stuff helps. Like the waist on top of the ball joint upper torso, you really don't need both. You typically just need one, and then the waist on top of the ball hinge, the ball jointed upper torso, that's not necessary. And then the bicep swivel on top of the swivel at the elbow. Just little stuff like that. They don't need both of those joints, but they do it anyway, and that helps the posability, which is nice. As far as joints, the quality of the joints, they're all very good. The only problem where I have some issues, and I did watch one of the review of this guy, had the same issue as me, is that the hinge on the side, they're a bit loose on both sides. And then the swivel's not bad. It's really just the hinge on both of the thighs are a bit loose, and when you're posing him, they can kind of be loose, but once you get him in a pose where he stands, they won't like topple over on you on your shelf. So don't worry about, you get him in a nice stance and then a day later he's falling down. That won't happen. It's just getting him in that stance can be a little bit tricky. Not too bad, but just a little bit because the joint is a bit loose. Of course, here he is with the 3¼ Ultron. Of course, just about the same thing. Of course, just a lot of green highlights in the 3¼ one, as opposed to not too many in the Diamond Select one. Let's stand him up so we can do a couple size comparisons. So yeah, so he is a bit shorter than a normal Select figure. He's not that short, but he is just a little bit shorter than a normal one. Here he is with Dr. Doom. Of course, Dr. Doom, they're about the same height. Dr. Doom was a small Select figure, or semi-small Select figure, so about the same height. And here he is with the Jutari from Select, and Jutari is supposed to be a little bit bigger, so overall he's in great scale. But he's also, he'll work for your Marvel Legends stuff if you use that too. So overall, I am very happy in getting him. If you're like me, where you like Ultron, you know, you like the Marvel villains, but you're not a huge Ultron fan, you know, there's nothing really special to him, and you're a little bit on the fence, overall, I recommend it. Because that's totally how I was. I thought the base was super cool, and that's what really pushed me to get it. And because of that, I really liked it, and overall, I'm very happy. So if you were like me, you're not too sure about this guy, just give it a try, and you'll probably really like it, because I love the Select line. I think that they're fairly cheap. I mean, they're double the price of this guy, and they're more than double the plastic, and they have so much better articulation. So overall, you do get your money's worth. It's you're definitely getting a lot more than you would with Marvel Universe figures. So overall, I'm really happy with this guy. Quality issues, really, just other than a little bit of loose on the thigh, not too bad at all. Paint is great. I mean, there's not a whole lot of paint apps on him, so it's hard to be like, oh, you know, this is great, because they've got some silver and some black. That's about it. But overall, they're done well. There aren't any problems. I didn't expect any problems, but there aren't any, so I wasn't disappointed in that. And as far as articulation, perfect. I love Select articulation. And as far as the size, it works. It's a nice Select one. But if you also have a large range of Marvel Universe figures or Marvel Legends figures that you want him to go along with, he'll work too. Because I know the Marvel Legends Ultron that they came out was a bit strange looking. So if you do want a more normal Marvel Legends Ultron in your set, he'll work for that too. So overall, I'm really happy with it. I think he's great. I think the base is great, other than a little bit of a odd place to put the pegs. Other than that, the base is perfect. And other than a little bit of loose thigh, the figure is perfect. There's just nothing that really stands out on this guy. I think that's the biggest trouble about me deciding whether to buy it. There wasn't anything big to stand out. But overall, a nice addition in your Select, Marvel, just Legends, Universe, whatever you want to say. It is a great addition to your Marvel collection. I highly recommend it if you're an Ultron fan especially. So there you go. So that's my review of the Marvel Select Ultron. Thanks for watching.